Alrighty, folks, welcome back to another episode of the Made to Pray podcast. You're joining us on our 12th of July special. Well, technically it's going out on the 11th, but this is all about the 12th. I am joined by an Orangeman, Darren Shufflebottom, who is joining us for the very first time. Darren, absolutely delighted to have you on board, man. How you doing?
Thanks very much for having us. Thank you.
Good stuff. So, Darren, we're going to spend a wee bit of time just talking a wee bit about, what the 12th means to us and some of maybe the experiences that we had, the traditions, all that kind of stuff there in regards to, because I think it's good to kind of, get that out there, because when you hear the outside media talking about the 12th, they talk about a particular, they only talk about certain things. They don't talk about maybe the more human stories and stuff that come along with that there. So what we'll do is we'll just see where this goes. So as an Orangeman, obviously the 12th of July obviously plays an important part in sort of life, I suppose. When did the 12th of July become really important for you? Was that back when you were a kid or whatever?
I think when I was a child, I think, coming up, growing up where we grew up, I grew up in the Springfield Peace Line there in Highfield, Spring Martin. I think, the band scene in the lodge, you either went to the band, you went to the lodge, I went to the lodge, do you know what I mean? So I think most people took their choice, you either, as I say, you went to the band scene or you went to the lodges, do you know what I mean? So I went to the lodge.
Sure. And was that family oriented?
Well, my dad was an Orangeman before me, and I think it goes back generations then, do you know what I mean? His dad was an Orangeman, his dad was an Orangeman, so.
Okay. And I think there's a lot of that within the community as
well.
As you say, whereas if there's family involved in that there, that's where you tend to go. It was different for me. My granddad was involved and was in the Orange, and I would have always looked out for him, obviously, in terms of the early years before I ended up in the band. But we had no history of anything like that in terms of my family. There was nobody involved in bands or anything like that, and it was obviously the bands that led me into the thing. And I was up my first to 12th of July, like I remember, like it was yesterday. So. You were involved with it. Were you involved with the Orange from the juniors and stuff?
From the juniors, I was in White Rock Juniors, and then my first real the 12th I remember. You were saying there, your first 12th was you can really remember was the first one with the band. My first one that I really remember was carrying the district colour party for Number 9 District.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? That was
And when was that?
Oh, geez, that was before I went to the army. So I was like 1980. Would have been 84, 85. Right, okay. I carried the district banner then for like 4 or 5 consecutive years.
Right,
up there when I joined the army.
Right, okay. So what age were you then, 84, 85?
13, 14. Right, okay.
Wow. Brilliant. And so you must have been, carrying the colours at that age is a big deal, like, isn't it?
It's a big honour.
Yeah.
I thought it was anyway, do you know what I mean? Because the juniors only ever get out then if you've done the strings.
Right, okay. Yeah,
you used to have 4 juniors out, and the 4 juniors done the strings, and then I think it's developed a wee bit more from then, do you know what I mean? The kids had their own day, you know what I mean? We had the Easter Tuesday parade and then we had our August parade, so I think the 12th was more for the bigger ones,
Yeah, sure.
So there was always 4 juniors went out, they carried the strings, and then if you were lucky enough, usually 2 people then got asked to carry the district banner.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? So the 2 you split it then between you the whole way up.
So you're saying that that's the first one that you kind of remember. Is there's outside of just carrying the banners, or anything else you kind of remember from that day as it kind of stood out for you? What were some of the thoughts and the feelings that you had whenever you were walking?
You're always looking out for people. Do you know what I mean? You should say, you're walking down, you spot Auntie such and such, and there's a couple of quid to be had there, that one there, and because you were carrying the district colours and all that,
yeah,
your family are proud of you, and then they're looking out for you as well. Do you know what I mean? So there's that pride as well. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, of what you're involved
in, being seen.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And then I remember walking through the district. One of the first years, I walked through the White Rock Day, and I was on the TV.
Right. Okay. Right.
Because we were first out the gates. Do you know what I mean? Because we haven't got out the gates, obviously.
Yeah. Talk to us a bit about that kind of ritual in the 12th morning, because I know for me, there was, whenever I was younger, there was that whole thing of the time that you get up, getting ready, and even the night before, obviously there's the 11th of July, but for me, even it was great to enjoy that. But for me, in the back of my head was once even the bonfire I was like kind of going like, I'm not going to be out too much later here because, hey, there's a big day ahead of me tomorrow as well, you
I
know?
think when you're younger, that sort of goes by the way. You know what I mean? Maybe come in 6, 7, get ready, and
I don't know
you know
what,
what
I
I
don't
mean?
know where you were hanging. That's
You know what I mean? So that was back in the day when you were younger. But I suppose now, I mean, a bit older now. I mean, I have grandkids to get ready, and do you know what I mean? So if your shoes to prep, and you have
yeah.
your trousers to make, your shirts to get ready, your collarette to get ready.
Uh-huh.
Make sure your weight gloves are right.
Okay.
Make sure your medals are polished in your collarette. And,
Yeah. But back then, in terms of there, obviously, the whole like the ritual of the day, you know what I mean? For me, it's like, what time are you getting up at the morning? What we looking at in terms of that? And then talk us through, give us almost a synopsis of what that 12th was like for you.
well, you're up. Well, we leave White Rock. Do you know what I mean? So we have to leave earlier than most. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got the Springfield Road to take on
Sure.
before we get even the Shankill Parade.
Uh-huh.
And then the Shankill Parade then to join the main parade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you've like 2 parades to do before you even join the main parade.
Sure.
I mean, so you're up probably leaving White Rock probably 6. You could be leaving White Rock at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I mean, sometimes you could leave White Rock at 9.
Right.
It just
Just
depends
on where you are,
depending on
where you are in the
you're
parade,
gonna
yeah.
fall in the main
Yeah.
parade. Do you know what I mean? So you're up, you're in the White Rock, and you've got your meeting, you've all that there to worry about. Then you've got to be worried about and get down to tackle what the Springfield Road takes on by itself. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Where you're going to get down it. Some years we haven't got down it. Some years, 2 years, I think it was 2-3 years ago, there was a bomb on it.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? So, we weren't going to get down that morning until the bomb tax came. So,
Yeah.
So you have that there to worry about. Do you know what I mean? And then getting down there, and then you've got to get to the west, and then form up with the main district parade, and then take over the banner, and take over the district banner. And then, do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Now it's more, fall in with the main parade, and then get down to Shankill and form up again on North Street, and get ready to join in wherever you're joining in, if you're leading or whatever. Depending on what district you're falling
you're in,
behind.
aye.
You know what I mean?
And for me, the whole thing around that 12 for me was, I know whenever I was out, I was just saying, I remember the first one that I ever walked with a bond, like it's like vivid memories for me. Like, I mean, like, yes, I ended up getting into bed at a reasonable time and stuff like that there, but I was up at the absolute screak of dawn anyway. And even all the prep was the night before. Uniform was laid out, shoes were polished, all that kind of stuff. And for me, that ritual of it was, I never had found myself as invested in anything until I got involved with the band. You know what I mean? This idea of looking after your uniform, your shoes, all this flute and all being oiled, all this kind of stuff is a ritual that I went through that night before. Was that has to be right. This is all laid out so that whenever I get up in the morning, I don't have much to do other than get washed, get dressed, and get to what was obviously because we were in East Belfast was our band met at the Maple Leaf Club, and that's where we went. And there's me dauntering up the road to the Maple Leaf Club to get in and meet the guys and get ready to go and pick up the master from their house and stuff and get on the road. And for me, it was just there was a quickness in your step. The shoulders were back. This even just. Like for me, I didn't walk down the street. You kind of just, swayed down the street. You had this swagger about, the old shoulders being back in the uniforms. And I absolutely, that whole morning thing, it's different now, like, being 52, like, and Jesus, I'm like kind of going, Jesus, somebody needs to inject me with something to get me up in the mornings, you know what I mean? But back then it was just, the buzz was just ridiculous.
That's it. It was the buzz. And then, again, because we were White Rock, do you know what I mean? There was that swagger because you were walking the Springfield Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You had that pride in your step, as you say. The shoulders went back. The band you swung along with the band. The shoulders went, and
Yeah.
There's that pride. Do you know what I mean? Especially walking that road. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've walked that road since I was a kid, literally with
Yeah.
my dad. Do you know what I mean? I held my dad's hand going down the Springfield Road and coming up at 2.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? And we didn't used to come out at Maggie's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to come right down. I mean, we're Workman Avenue. We used to come out Workman Avenue. Before that, we'd come out at Lanark Way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're glad gradually we've been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back up that road. But even though they're still swinging us in the Mackies now, there's still that parade
Sure.
of walking. Just that wee tiny bit that we're allowed to walk now. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think that parade represents? I know that it's obviously there's a sense of being proud that you are from your community and stuff, but what really does that represent? Because I know for me, this idea of the sense of being, I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of the band that I was involved in, and there was an idea, I suppose, to some degree, of being proud of just the culture itself.
Well, I think I think it comes from. I think it's drawn. It's like drawn into you, especially when you're from like Highfield or or Spring Martin or the Shankill and I think it's sort of that pride's drilled into you. Do you know what I mean? It's be proud of your area. I mean, and there's people aren't. Do you know what I mean? But we need to get back to this. You know what I mean? We need to be proud of our areas. Do you know what I mean? We need to be proud of our traditions.
Yeah.
And our traditions are being slowly taken away from us.
Yeah.
But we need to get back to that. Do you know what I mean? Where you have pride. It's not about triumphalism.
No, I think
do you know what I mean? That's not what it's about. It's about having pride in your own area. It's about having pride that, you know what I mean, for generations, people have walked that before you.
But that's it. Tradition's an extremely important thing. Well, that's well, when you think about the fact that we're remembering, won the Battle of the Point. But for me, it's not just the Battle of the Point. For me, it means a lot more of that than me. For me, the idea of it being connected to the wider Glorious Revolution in terms of the changes that made to, Britain at the time, in terms of non-constitutional monarchy, all this kind of stuff. Were all things that ultimately over the years benefited everybody. Now I know initially when we go into the historians, we'll know that there's like certain acts and stuff like that people will say didn't, and I get that. But ultimately, whenever you were going, because we're not the Reformation wasn't that long past. You've got Europe that was in transition. You have, Britain that was in transition. And any transition has its growing pains, in terms of that. And I get that. I do. I get that there was laws that were completely anti-Catholic. I get that. But for me, in the long term, it paved the way for what Great Britain is today. Or the United Kingdom is today, I suppose, is probably a better way of putting it, in terms of that, it's a desirable place that people want to live. But that's me getting off on the whole that's a completely different subject there. But I think, but whenever you talk to some people about that, even we were talking on with other people previously, sometimes again, when people are talking to, anyone from our community about the 12th of July, sometimes it doesn't come across very well, or, someone's not in a position to really talk about it. But that, when someone talks to me about it, that's what comes to my mind is, this is what this is all about, and I recognize the impact that those events had back in 1690 and beyond, or whatever, till today. And that's what I'm selling at. That's what I'm commemorating, not all of the other stuff that the people seem to want to attach onto it, So in terms of, is there a 12th, apart from that one you mentioned there, is there a 12th that really stands out for you, like being absolute, like, this is one of the best that I've ever been involved in?
300th anniversary.
Tercentenary, brilliant. Okay, talk to me about that.
Aye, that's a funny story, that one. So I was in the army at the time.
Right.
And the boys had just done a tour in Northern Ireland, and we were all promised leave.
Right.
And the leave was quickly withdrew.
Right.
Because of what it was. 300th anniversary. I didn't sort of know what way things were going to go, and so they didn't let us come home.
Right.
So we came home on our own.
Right, okay.
Anyway.
Right. You weren't absent without leave, were you?
Squad of us went absent without leave, just to come home for, you had to be here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think anybody, from here wanted to be here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so why we made our way back from Germany.
Right, okay. Brilliant. What was the experience like? Because I can remember that as well. The weather wasn't great now.
No, it wasn't. No, but I can, it was the passion of the day. Do you know what I mean? You just had to be there.
There was something
about it. It was just the start of the Canadians at the start of the parade, and you know,
Yeah, the indigenous
the
trades
indigenous
and stuff.
trades,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all that there sort of, and then the sort of pride just wailed in you, you know,
yeah.
it sort of, you know, it made you proud
It
to be on,
almost
to be there
exactly.
that day, you know.
Yeah, one of the things that whenever I think back to the tercentenary, I kind of think of the effort that was put into,
Yeah.
creating that parade, because there was lots of different
There was
things. So
whole,
there was loads of things.
yeah,
There was all those different displays, different, there was like the horse and cart stuff that was on there. There was all these, even the lodge. I think there was lodges from Africa and
there was,
stuff
there
that were
was,
there
there was
as
people from
well.
all
But
over the world,
it was
brilliant.
unbelievable. And I almost think, well, why do we leave? I know I get it, 300 years, I get that there, but I'm always kind of going, we should probably have that kind of incentive every year to kind of go, well, listen, let's make something
There should
about
be
this
something
particular one.
better every year.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Belfast walks the same every year.
Yeah.
You still have the same pride. I mean, still the same
Yeah.
pride walking up a Lisburn Road as you would have had on any other year. But there's nothing in that field.
I know.
They need to be drawing families in there. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
And I think Orangeman have been saying it for 30 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We need something else. We need something, do you know what I mean? We need to make it more family orientated, do you know what I mean? As opposed to,
Here's the orders of the day. Here's
Here's
the
it, this is what
declarations
we're
that get
doing,
made and all that. Because
I mean-
I understand that that's important.
the speeches on
Yeah.
nobody even goes to the field to listen to this.
Well, this is it. You know what I mean?
Back
Yeah.
when I was a child,
You were
field-
always there.
the field was flooded with people, do you know what I mean? But again, there's nobody goes to the
Different
field.
now, because I think, whenever you look at, because I always loved being at the field at times, because one, obviously there was all the stalls and stuff there, and I was always looking for new band tapes and things like that. But also because NXT I started as a flute player, it meant that the senior guys moved off on me and my mate Alvin and other, we could get going on the drums and the bass drum and all going on and playing all these other new tunes and stuff. And then, but even at that, the orders of the day that you're not allowed to drum in the field, you're not allowed to do this in the field. And I get that, you know what I mean, that it's about something else. But there is an opportunity there, I think, to make some changes, positive changes to the day there. I know for me, and that's I've been a
If you go to any, if you go to county demonstrations,
Yeah.
some of them county demonstrations are fantastic. The things they've laid on for
got
the
on.
kids, and
yeah.
Belfast just seemed to have lost.
But even
their-
if you look at the
stuff.
difference in Scarva, I know that's the black, but I mean the
Brilliant day out.
atmosphere there is
Brilliant day.
amazing.
If you go to Scarborough the 12th day, over across the water, fantastic day.
Yeah.
out. So what
Well,
is
like
Scotland?
Scarborough, yeah,
Scotland
yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Scotland last Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, family orientated, family day. But Belfast district seems they went away. I don't
Yeah.
know where they're heading on that.
But even just one of the things that it kind of struck me with being over in Scotland the weekend was probably some of the organisational element. Now, I know that's something where the Orange get a bit of a batter in here, and I know there's a few things being changed this year in regards to timings, and I think this year the Sandy Road district is lost this time to stop that bottleneck coming down down what do you call
There's
it?
always a battle
Yeah.
coming down in the Strathspey Square.
Shaftesbury
there.
Square there, yeah. So I think that's positive. But one of the things that I really liked was whenever you arrived at the sort of where the parade was leaving from, everything was all marked out in rows of this district's here, this is here, you're here, this is this lodge here. And getting out actually seemed to run quite smoothly.
Smoothly.
And one of the things that I noticed this year was at the Erdry parade was that this big massive video screen up at the stage, and you could see the parade leaving as you were standing waiting. And I thought that was a great touch,
Yeah.
So obviously a live camera feed going into this big massive screen, you could kind of see who was coming down, because then where we were standing, the road that everybody was coming out of was just here. And you knew what bomb was coming next, so you kind of go, oh, well, I'm really interested
interested in seeing them as well,
them.
yeah.
So there was wee things that I liked about that, but I definitely think there's scope for it to change into something else. But that sometimes is almost I don't know. It sets a cat amongst the pigeons. I think when
You don't want to bring it. Nobody wants to bring it up.
start,
It's sort of like,
yeah. But when
do
it
you
did-
say now? Do you say something? You not say something?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But for 30 years, it's been the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
and I think when you
And then there's no
do-
stalls up. I mean, you said you used to love getting the field, searching through all the different tapes that you did, the badges. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm a badge collector.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to find, I haven't got that one,
Yeah.
There's nothing there. I mean, there's
Exactly.
literally there's nothing
But
at
you
the field
can
anymore.
have something even connected to that, because I know there's other people that do those. They know the
Like
minutes.
drumming competitions, or
Yeah.
get the kids involved, and there's
Exactly.
100 things you could do better, and draw.
People in.
We're trying to draw people into the institution. We're trying to draw people into the band scene, but we're not putting anything on for them.
Yeah.
So
What,
who are we
why
drawing?
are we surprised? That,
Do you know what I mean? I was
Exactly.
surprised then that there's nobody joining the institution.
Yeah,
Or,
no.
the
Get it?
band scene struggling for members. Put a wee thing on at the field, and
Yeah.
a couple of demonstrations, and, get people interested.
I'm all for a big radical change, for
Oh,
me.
so am I.
You know what I mean? I know,
So
but
am
I know
I.
that's a dirty word
It's
for
a dirty-
something.
it is a
Like, you know
dirty
what I mean? Given the way the response was to the document that was like, a paid fit for a king, and there was there's a whole hoo-ha there, like, and I get that, because there's obviously, I think the county, especially for Belfast, maybe learned a few lessons there, that, you can't really force things on people. You really need to collaborate and communicate effectively with people there. But for me, I know for me, I would love, one of the things I'd love to see is a change of venue completely, right? And for the 12th to go to the playing fields at Boucher, right? And do your service thing, but have a big stage area set up, and do all your cultural stuff. Have your Highland dance and stuff on. Have your, other sort of traditional take groups coming on. Even for Willie Drannan maybe doing some stuff. Some other groups that were on doing stuff. So give some bands the opportunity to do some performance things. Have the fun fair aspect there. Yes, might cost a few pounds or whatever else to do that, but I think that would be, for me, that's the way forward. Like, something along those lines would be great. Shorter route, easier on the feet, and plenty of entertainment going on at the end of it. It'd be amazing.
Well, you wouldn't be taking that much off the road if you think about it, because you'd still be coming up a Lisburn Road, and then you could cut underneath the arch.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's face it, everybody loves a band playing underneath an arch.
Well, I know that's it.
What's
that reverb, get it
going, But then, down and into Boucher.
Exactly.
You're not cutting anything off.
Major off it anyway.
Anything major off it, do you know what I mean?
But even that, I mean, for me, that, even that's just obviously ideas and stuff.
I think that's where it needs to go, though. I think it does need to come away from Barnes Domain. I think it needs to come,
You need
as
to
you
fix
said.
yourself when you leave here, Nate.
No, but that's not what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
What you're saying there, more cultural.
Yeah.
We need the field's the field.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
There's 2 burger vans on it.
If that,
where's as you say, let's get a stage up, let's get the lay feed going.
Yeah,
Let's make something
some
off it.
incentive
Do you know
of
what I
it.
mean? Yeah.
One of the things I have this dream. I'm going to sound like Martin Luther King here or something, but I have this. What I would love to see happen. I've said this to a few people. Starting on the 11th night, what I'd love to see happen would be ship the way they do the landing of King Billy at Carrickfergus.
Yep.
Still on the 11th, what I'd love to see happening. I'd love to see a ship leaving Carrick and then sailing down Belfast Lock, and bonfires being lit all along the way down the lock, and for the boat to dock somewhere down there, and King Billy to get off it, and there to be a bonfire at that docks area. I would absolutely love that. See, from a historical reenactment thing, I think that's the other thing that we're maybe missing as well in regards to this, is the historical connections. Like going, this is a commemoration of a historical event, and yet there's little or nothing that connects it to it.
As you say there, that's the sort of thing that would be praised by the outside.
Yeah.
Going back to the
real route.
The real route of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of, people slam us, do you know what I mean, from all directions. We get hit from the media, we get hit from the outside. Across the water, further afield, America, wherever. If we did do that historical side to it, I think more people would be more interested in coming and seeing what we're about.
Exactly. Yeah, because you can have even all that kind of, all sorts of performances.
You're not limited to one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're involving more people. You're getting more people involved in, especially in the history of it. And then that's what it's about. It's about the history.
But even the visual. I mean, you think of the visual. Do you want to have those photographs? Remember the famous photograph the guy took from the Cave Hill, and you could see all the bonfires. Then I just have this thing of, imagine what it would be like to see Belfast Lock and all these beacons being lit up the whole way down as that ship makes its way down into that. I just think
Brilliant.
that'd be
That'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic to see. It would be.
And then have, you know, a wee bit of historical reenactment, obviously, King on the horse and maybe some of the people in uniform, you know, walking past and stuff, having an alert bumper, but also then having performances that's not just bands, but all sorts of things.
Did you say Highland dancing?
Everything, you know, just on the 11th and make a real kind of, hey, connect with a culture like this.
Yep.
I just think that would be it'd be amazing. And to try and find, I think you would potentially find people more willing to maybe fund even something like that and go, well, listen, if it's around that, then let's give it. And what a perfect opportunity to show people.
I think you would get a lot more people coming in for it, as you say. You would fund the people would fund that.
Be a tourist trap.
It would be a tourist trap. So, I mean, people would come over the world to see that. Do you know what I mean? And if you were doing it, you don't have to do it every year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do it every couple of years, every 5 years. Do you know what I mean? Celebrate it, or you know, more the anniversary. I mean, you can work. You can work it around. Do you know what I mean? You know, but you know, it needs something. It needs revamped. It needs something done.
It needs a reinvigorate, and it's great. We're kind of talking about this. You know, getting into the trying to talk about traditions, but talking about what needs to change as well. But I think that's as long as it retains the connection to the historical event. I don't think that the change should be necessarily seen as a bad thing.
No.
And for me, the other way to look at it is the enhancing of it. I think it's not necessarily change. It's how can we enhance the whole thing to be better, I suppose, or to make more of a connection with a wider audience. Yes, you'll not lose any of that, you know, the nostalgia aspect that we all have attached to that. But I think to make sure you keep connecting with a younger audience, but also connecting with the fact that there's, we were talking in regards to tourism, etc. There, that it gives people an opportunity to be involved and be even prouder of what you're putting on. I think it would be amazing. So hopefully the kids are watching this, and it'd be great for them to take some of this on board. I just think there's so many opportunities there for us to move on beyond.
I agree. It really does.
Yeah, you know. So what about this year's 12th? How are you feeling about? You know, we're obviously a few days away from the big day. How are you feeling about having to knock 12 to 15 miles out?
I don't think my feet are looking forward to it. I'll have the White Rock Parade, but I know I'm looking forward to it. I mean, my new grandson, also we have first 12.
Right, okay.
So it'll be 3 generations. It was actually one this year.
What age is the grandson?
He will be 1 on the 13th.
Right, okay. On the 13th.
The 13th of July.
Wow, right, okay. Well, so it's a pre-birthday celebration.
Pre-birthday celebration. 3 generations welcome with a lodge this year.
You'll be able to convince somebody to go up this all for you.
You know, well, my anniversary is the 13th as well. So.
Right, okay, right. So your wedding anniversary? All right, that was wisely done. Pick a day you'll not forget. Yeah.
Pick a day you'll not forget. Stag Day was a cracker.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I mean, bonfire and all that.
New bonfire.
Brilliant. And in terms of, you know, I suppose you're looking to preserve the tradition and stuff like that. Or how have you worked that out with your family? Have you tried really hard to kind of do what was done for you in terms of here's we get involved with the lodge? I'm suspecting you're all involved with the same, like a similar lodge for years and years, or has that changed?
Well, I've been White Rock now I'm 52 now, so I'd be White Rock for over 40 years.
Right, okay.
So I mean, so.
Was that your dad's lodge as well, or was he?
My dad was Clifton Street.
Right, okay.
My dad worked with a lodge in Clifton Street, and then his lodge got dissolved.
Right, okay.
As some lodges back
then
did.
Yeah.
If you look back the White Rock Parade for 40 years ago, up to now, you know,
sure,
the amount of lodges it's missing. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, these things happen. Do you know what I mean? But then I joined White Rock because obviously it was, you know what I mean, you could throw a stone from my house to the hall. Do you know what I mean? So
I suppose that maybe brings me to something else then. You know, Number 9 district, let's, if we're being honest about it, has started to dwindle a wee bit, hasn't it? What could inject life back into the district? What do you think would happen?
I think you have to bring the youth in. Without the youth, you're bait. It's as simple. It's in anything. Do you know what I mean? In anything that you do, if you don't bring the youth in with you, you're going nowhere. It's like I work for the Poppy Appeal. we need to bring the youth in now, because the youth's the ones that need to take over. Do you know what I mean? If you want all this to continue, you need to engage the youth.
Yeah.
Because without engaging them, we're going nowhere.
Yeah. Well, the juniors have had a surge. Not in maybe not in number 9 district. I don't. And somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. But I know in other areas, the juniors have had a surge. You know, and when we were talking with on another episode about how I think it was when we were talking about Lisa Williamson about that, and how there was an article in the paper about, you know, the juniors being up at Stormont and stuff, and there was a considerable number of them there, but it was from districts maybe beyond Belfast. But I think, you know, we need to do something here to try and engage and get people involved in the juniors. What that looks like, I have no clue. Do you know what I mean?
We've lost their parades.
Yeah.
For the juniors. Do you know what I mean? Do they still go out on Easter Tuesday? I don't think.
No, they don't. No,
they don't go out on
it's
Easter
in
Tuesday.
May now. So
There's one parade in May. Used to go out on Easter Tuesday. Used to go out there used to be one on August as well. When I was a junior anyway, there was 2 parades a year. Now there's 1.
Yeah.
We've went away. They don't walk Easter Tuesday now.
Well,
or if they did walk Easter, if they walk Easter Tuesday now, they walk Easter Tuesday locally. I mean, it used to go to Bangor.
Yeah.
Used to go to Malay. Used to get. That was an incentive when you were a kid. Do you know what I mean? That was, you know, where we're going White Rock, or where we're going Easter Tuesday, or we're going to Malay this year. Oh, happy days. Do you know what I mean? And the kids look forward to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now you're saying to a junior, oh, where are you going Easter Tuesday? Oh, we're going around the Shankill.
Yeah, no,
it's different.
I didn't know what is the weather aspect Easter Tuesday. I can kind of see maybe the shift.
I remember walking in the snow one year Easter Tuesday.
But I think, you know, when I think the shift to the May parade being maybe weather, or more likely to maybe have some better weather around her. I think that's good. And I know it moves away from that traditional thing of Easter Monday, Prada's Boys, Easter Tuesday was always the junior side of thing. But I think whenever, you know, there's only so many times you can walk around, you know, drenched and kind of go like, this isn't fun. You know, I know as a bondsman, I hate walking in the rain, but, you know, and it's just not fun. And that's thinking maybe back to even the Thursday rate, life's out of the heavens with that. And, but doing something that, you know, that's a positive move. Move it to this year. More likely it would have maybe some better weather. That's great. I think it was in Bangor this year, and the one in May was in Bangor this year anyway. And I think it was a great day. I think the weather was good, and the all intents and purposes that everybody seemed to have, you know, a great day out and stuff. But it's about how we can take that further forward, because as you say, you know, you are living with the tradition in terms of the parade and tradition, and that's ultimately where the order lies within, you know, in terms of always, and also the declaration of faith stuff and all that, and part of that. But it's what is it we can do to ensure that, you know, that the juniors come on board, that it's not just a bore fest for them. Do you know what I mean? That it's something that they actually really
see
want to be involved in.
What you were saying there about the beacons and all that there sort of stuff. That's the sort of stuff that the kids want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the sort of thing that would draw
living history stuff.
a lot more, not just adults, but it would draw a lot more kids in, because kids nowadays, they're sort of into all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? All of the computers, I mean, they can get on and check all this stuff out. Do you know what I mean? It's a whole different ball game now.
Yeah.
Jesus. The only computer I seen was when I was at school.
Yeah.
We didn't.
The BBC things, old looking things,
They were, I mean, prehistoric brick things, do you know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
it's difficult to kind of think of, you know, what I would do there, because I think, you know, there is a need for that there. And again, it was something I know I'd maybe need to do another episode and talk about how could we look at that, because I think if you could do that, you would also enhance the 12th. Because I think if, you know, having a great junior display out on the 12th, if there was some way of them being able to drum up something that the juniors were actually responsible for on the 12th in terms of something that they were doing, I think it would be, you know, make sure you're an integral part of the day, rather than here, sure, swing a few strings there, you know. I mean, that's great and all, but it's not really what anybody wants to get out and do now. Like, you know, so maybe there's something there that we could be thinking about as well. So, But say I'm looking. I have to say, I haven't walked the last couple of times just due to the work and things they got there. I think last year we had I had a conference on and work and stuff, so it meant that it was a bit. We had visitors from the States and everything and stuff over, so man, I just didn't really get the opportunity to do it. But I'm looking forward. This year, not looking forward to 14, 15 mile. I have
No.
to say, like. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting out and walking the route again. Hopefully, maybe for the last time. No, I'm only joking. But you know, really looking forward to just to getting out and just trying to enjoy the day. So that's a
It's all about seeing people, and I mean,
yeah,
people that you maybe don't see for the year. I mean, there's people. I mean, people's lives are hectic. You know what I mean? Work commitments and different other commitments, and band scene. I mean, you have 2 practices a week, and
yeah.
different things. But I mean, there's people you only see once a year on the 12th day, and
Yeah.
I mean, I look forward to that. Do you know what I mean? Different family members and
It's
stuff.
buzzing, like you know what I mean. There is a buzz around. Certain
Walking
areas.
up the Lisburn roads,
It's always good. Yeah, it's
going
always
through
good.
Strathspey Square. I mean, it's
Well, it has its
you know what I
moments.
mean?
It has its moments.
It's good fun on the way there, but maybe not so bad.
On the way back, it's
On
not.
the way
I mean,
back, it can be a wee bit of a nightmare, but
that's just with the encroachment thing. Where, people are in.
it's trying to get a band in
Yeah.
a lodge car and a banner through sometimes.
And even if
a
you've got if
nightmare.
a bond's got a lot of kids and stuff, that there, and you can't. You're looking at it from a safety perspective, as
Yep.
all for everybody having a great time, but I'm also wanting everybody to have a
Safety.
safe time as well. I think that's but I mean, there are certain elements where you walk down that, up the Lisburn Road, and you do get that chills. You get that, where people are singing along with what you're
So-
doing or whatever else. Or
Just when you're approaching the park in the Lisburn,
Yeah.
come up towards the park in the Lisburn Road, the park on the left hand side. I can't remember what the name of it is.
No, it's not by Victoria College direction, is it?
Yeah.
So,
Coming past there is always, the
It's
crowd
always
are
good
always,
there, yeah.
I mean, it's,
so no, it's odd. But I think for me, it's definitely changed over the years, in
aye,
terms
yeah,
of
no.
that. I know even leaving East Belfast in the morning, it's just not the same, you know what I mean, in terms of the crowds and stuff. Because I remember before I started walking with the band, it was, you're 10, 12 deep. On the pavement and everything, it was just like it was the thing.
Yep.
You had to be there. There was no chance that if you were left, that you were in the house and the bonds were walking and whatever else, you were like, well, what are you doing?
Nobody booked a holiday over this.
Well, that's it. Exactly. But that's the other thing is that that the world's changed a lot too. Hasn't it? The world is a lot smaller now in the sense that you can't travel and do all
That's it,
sorts
yeah.
of stuff. Whereas, like you were saying, like a trip to Malay was like, oh my word, here
That's it.
we're,
Well, why? That's it.
another
That's it.
planet,
You were going to a different world. You know what I mean?
Whereas now that's not, people's horizons have been widened,
Aye, well, that's up,
considerably as a result of that. So I'm not saying, listen, let's organise a parade in Benidorm or something. No, there is obviously one
There is
on the
one
12th,
there.
but I'm not saying let's go and do that. But, but it does have an impact on that because, people are away there. But, I say that it's probably the most expensive time of the year to take a holiday, because people
right.
know that, people are looking to be on holiday at those times as well, aren't they? So, but what would you say has been, in terms of your experience of being in Orange, what would you say you've got out of that? What difference has it made to your life?
Ooh, that's a hard question, that one. I don't know.
Is there one, like, in terms of, because you mentioned the idea of, the idea of fraternity and this idea of being connected to people and stuff. That's one aspect of it. Is there anything else you'd say you've got out of it?
Comradeship,
Right,
friendship.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, the people in my lodge, I mean, I've known them, the seniors in my lodge, I've known them since I was junior,
Right, okay.
and you looked up to them, man.
Yeah.
You did, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you really did, like, when you were a junior, you really looked up to them, man. And I suppose I still do look up to them. Do you know what I mean? I'm 52. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking up to men. I'm still looking up at them, man, thinking,
Right.
I mean, he's still walking. That's like 60 years that man's been walking.
Yeah.
And it's that pray. I don't know how pray's the right word. It's just something. I don't know. It's built into you.
Uh-huh.
It's that. as I say, I when I was a kid, I looked up at them men. Do you know what I mean? Thought, I hope I'm walking when I'm still doing this when
Yeah.
I'm his age. Do you know what I mean?
It's
And now I'm looking at them going, I'm still doing that when I'm his age now. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Is there something about this sense of being involved in something larger than yourself? You know, this idea that here's me, but here's me who's also connected to
To all these,
all of this,
all of
all the people.
this,
So even though,
this,
because in some sense, when you think about the 12th and you think about just maybe parades in general, is you're out and so are thousands of other people out who are either wearing collarettes or whatever else. But you also then have the thousands of people that are laying in the street. And we talk about this idea of being seen previously. So there's an element that, and I think that comes without wanting to maybe get a bit too deep on that there, but there is an element within sort of the human condition as such to be one, to be connected to people and to know that people know that you exist and to say that to have being seen means a heck of a lot more than just, hey, I saw you. But that it means a lot more than that. This idea of being seen and adds something of value to you as a person.
Yep.
I think that's something that that really resonates for me, because for me, whenever I got involved with the bonds and stuff, that's where my love for performing really started to come out. It wasn't necessarily that I just performed with the because I performed in a lot of other areas and stuff. I became a guitar player. I played drum kits. I played bass. I did a wee bit of keyboard and stuff. And I played with other bands and stuff down the lane. But and then I also sang in different places and stuff. But it gave me this idea of the performance aspect and actually people appreciating what it is that you do. I think is a real important part of that whole scene.
Yeah.
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 So the sense of being connected to something larger than yourself is probably something that really resonates with me. And, you know, I remember one guy saying, it says, it's one thing on the 12th of July or whatever to be walking past with your order family or your bomb family and then have your own family standing on the side of the street. He said, there's nothing more powerful than that whole approach of being seen by your family, but being connected with your other family while you're on the road.
Yes, I 100% on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, I suppose that's the stuff I don't think anybody really talks about.
No.
You know, they don't really kind of go into that element of, you know, this idea, because when we're talking about when we talk about this sense of being connected in a world where we're disconnected a heck of a lot, where we're so used to doing things on our own, not having to necessarily need anybody to do anything. I mean, you think about it, you could probably spend weeks and weeks on your own, still do life day to day, and not actually be connected to anybody, and not even talk to anybody if you don't really want to. And that's one of the things that I think, you know, about that the order and the bonds are keeping alive, is this sense of the human connection, that we're all involved in something that's really powerful and important to us. And it keeps that alive, you know, because we can't exist in an age when mental health is so important. You know, we're actually contributing to positive
I think
mental
I
health.
think the Orange Order misses a trick or two as well. Do you know what I mean? Because we're all men
Yeah.
in the Orange. Well, not all
Well.
men. Do you know what I mean? We've got the ladies as well, but you know the mental health thing. You're going into the mental health thing. Or men don't talk about mental health. Do you know what
Well,
I
that's
mean?
the stereotype anyway, yeah.
I think being a member of an organisation like that, you can talk a wee bit more. Do you know what I mean? And there's people there that you've known for 30, 40 years. Do you know what I mean? That you can go and say,
Yeah.
here, listen, blah, 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 blah. You know, and you can have a word, but because you've known them for that
Yeah,
long,
sure.
and because, you know, you've got the same tradition, as you say, the same traditions, you've got the same, you know, what I mean, but,
Outlook on life.
you know, you've the same, everything, you've the same outlook and stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff. So,
No, I think it is. I think it's really important to kind of, but again, as you say, I don't want this to get in. It's not the knock things, but I think there's things within that there that, you know, could be taken on board by, and it is being taken on board by bonds and the wider, you know, community as well. But it could be something that gets integrated into, you know, day-to-day life within the order and say,
Yep.
listen, how do we keep that real connection going? How do we make sure that we're looking after people and not in that sense, you know, and that it does contribute positively, you know, because, but because the other thing is that you know, being involved in that big massive parade, the buzz that comes from that, like we're saying, that's a real boost. Not the ego, but just in your sense. You know, there's times when I'm sure you've been the same. There's been times I've walked, and I've been close to tears walking past, and the response that you've been getting from people on a parade, and like kind of going, it just does something on the inside. There's this
It
sense
just fills you with pride.
yeah, and you just kind of go, God, I'm a part of this thing, and people are really appreciating what I've done. And if you've been through an experience where there's been lots of negativity in your life and whatever else, you know, and you haven't experienced that, to be involved in something that gives you that
Yep.
is a really important thing. And I think we undersell that.
There's a lot of pride. I mean, there's just a lot of pride in it. I mean, it's just, as you said, it just fills you with a warmth, do you know what I mean, from inside. Do you know what I mean? And you hear somebody shouting your name. And
It's a whole...
there's a whole growth in your shoulders. And, do you know what I mean? You know.
Yeah. And that's a real encouragement, especially for me, like, you know, whenever you're like, kind of seriously here, I'm not even anywhere near down the bottom of the Lisburn Road under with her leg, you know, so someone should, and you kind of,
that's it. It gives you a wee spring, do you know what I mean?
That's it, exactly.
Go for
I'll forget about the 7 blisters on my feet here, you know, and I'll walk on and stuff, you know, but it is a key, I think it's a key element to the whole thing. So in terms of maybe summing things up then, how would you describe the impact that the 12th's had on you as a person? In terms of, you've walked God knows how many now?
Probably 40.
Right, okay. So, and you're 52?
Probably 40.
Right, so there you go. So 12 years out of your life, haven't maybe had some out, but 40 years of your life, you've been involved with it. What keeps you doing it?
Pride.
Right.
Pride. I think the first thing's pride. You know what I mean? I think to pull that Colorado on the 12th morning, you know, and to have that, I don't know, it's for me, it's like to have my forefathers behind me. I mean, I'm putting that on for them. You know, for my dad that walked, for his dad that walked, and for his dad that walked. Do you know what I mean? I'm still carrying on that tradition.
I like that.
Of, you know, that pride of, I don't know. And when I do that in the morning, in the 12th morning, and pull that over my head, and that sits on my shoulders, the pride I feel just from that, the weight, just that wee bit of weight from your collarette, and it just brings your shoulders up, you know, and it's like.
But it's not just material you're putting on your shoulders. It's
not material.
Years and
it's
years
of history. It's,
yeah.
As I say, I'm thinking of my father.
Do
you know what I mean? And not just thinking ahead. I mean, then it's his father as well, because his father walked the 12th morning too.
That's good.
And then his father walked the 12th morning before that. Do you know what I mean? And then there's family members went to the Somme. They didn't come back to walking.
Yeah.
They walked their last 12th. Do you know what I mean? So you have that as well. You know what I mean? You were saying earlier on there about different, you know, aspects. I mean, why? I mean, different. I mean, it's not just the Battle of the Boyne. It's not. I mean, but there's family members that give up their lives for something
like that.
You know what I mean? For a way of life, and you mean so you're walking thems too. Do you know what I mean? And you have that pride. You mean because.
Well, there's an element of that as well, in the sense that when we commemorate the 1st of July for the Storm, but obviously in terms of before the calendar change, the actual date for the Battle of the Boyne was the 1st of July. You know, so there is an ongoing connection with that date. There's obviously something historically about that date, you know, that has something about, and interestingly, about preserving freedom as well, which is extremely important too. But I think that's a really great place to maybe think about ending there, because I think that's one of the best thoughts in regards to what the 12th is all about. That when you put that collarette on, it's not just about you. It's, as you say, it's about your dad, your granddad, your great-granddad, in terms of your family connection. But it's also about here. This is also for all those people who fought for the freedom that I have. And you've got a deeper connection with that with your army days as well. And you know what that means here. That in a way that some people don't, you know, so I appreciate it, because that's you almost as well saying, hey, this is for you guys as well. This is for absent friends. That's powerful stuff, isn't it? That's when you put it down to that, that's a whole different ball game. As you know, you're carrying history on your shoulders.
Well, I think every Orangeman and every bandsman feels that anyway.
Yeah, well, that's nuts.
Do you know what I mean? I think most bandsmen, most Orangemen do feel that
Yeah.
pride in the morning when you either put that cap on,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Or you put that collar over and you feel that weight hit your
60,
shoulders.
70 years worth of all
Do you know
people
what I mean?
who've been doing the same thing. Yeah.
You know, for hundreds of years, the same morning
Yeah.
throughout history. Brethren before me, brethren bandsmen before you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? We've all done the same thing. We've all done that and put that over their head or put their cap on.
Flute them out.
And,
yeah.
you know, then, you know, it's time for the shoulders to come back and feel a bit of pride in yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
no, well, that's good stuff. And I like that. It's a nice place to kind of maybe tie that there because that's just I haven't thought about that a lot in that aspect of it in a while there. So that's brilliant that you brought that back, Mom. Brilliant. Look, Darren, appreciate you taking the time out to come on and talk. I know this has been kind of almost a wee bit ad hoc and stuff, you know, in terms of the conversation. But that's I really appreciate you taking
Not a problem.
the time and sharing some of your experiences with us. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, folks, there you go. That's a wee bit of an insight, I suppose, into the 12 for us anyway, and for me. And, you know, you'll have in your mind what the 12 means for you. But I think we can all, you know, agree that it's not just a day of the year. It's not just this date on the calendar. It means so much more to it than that. It's not just about a parade. It's not just about tunes. It's about the people that we have loved, fucking really. I can't just think about my granda. God. It's about the people that we've loved that have done this before us and have instilled something within us that means something to us. It's not just about what everybody else kind of sees it. It's not just about this day of drinking or whatever else. And as we were talking about this idea of triumphalism, it's so much more than that. It's about a connection to our family. It's about a connection to our history. It's about a connection to our culture. It's about a connection to our wider group of friends, that larger family that we have with our band, with our lodge, and the people that are on the street with us and stuff there. It's so much more than that. There's a real, and I want, without using the only word that comes, there's a spiritual element to it in regards to that wider connection, this idea of Koinonia, the community aspect of what we do as part of the 12th of July tradition. So, folks, whatever you're doing on the 12th of July, take a moment and think about those people that you love that are no longer with us, the people that we love that are still with us, and let's have an amazing 12th of July together and enjoy our culture, enjoy our community, but most of all, have one of the best wider family days that we have at any time of the year. So, folks, until the next episode, look after yourselves and have a great 12th of July.